I got pretty lucky with my standing for what my pick would even be. So I got eighth, which doesn't sound good to you guys, but let me explain to you why it was. So basically, we were doing a snake draft. What that means is that it starts from the top, it goes to the bottom, and then the bottom starts again, and it goes back to the top. So basically, if you're at the bottom, you get 2 picks in a row, same as number 1. And I got number 8. And the one that I wanted wasn't very common. And so what I drafted with my first pick was Mega Charizard X. So basically, the thought process about this was that I want a wall breaker. And who better than Mega Charizard X? Like, he's a monster. Like, Tough Claws, Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz. You D-dance once, and not a lot of things are going to live a hit. Mega Charizard is a beast, and he's going to be our captain for the California Charizards. And for my second pick, I chose Magearna. So what I really wanted to do in this draft was I wanted to draft bulk, semi-bulk, and hyper offense. I wanted to draft bulk because I needed things to hold down our team. So what better special wall, might as well call this the Great Wall of China when choosing Magearna. Magearna, with an Assault Vest, that will eat up any special hit you throw at it. It will eat it up, sponge it up, and then just throw a special attack back at your way. Magearna, it's very rare that she gets one-shotted by, rarely even two-shotted by a special move. So that just makes it even more powerful. Its ability, which basically, after it KOs a mon, it gets a boost in its special attack, it could turn into a sweeper. And once that starts going, there's not a lot of things that could stop it. And for our third pick in the OU round, I chose Hoopa Unbound. The same thing with our Charizard X, I wanted hyper offense in our first round. So Hoopa Unbound, the amazing thing about him is that his special attack and his base attack are extremely high. Its attack is 160, that's its base attack, base 160, and its special attack is base 170. So you can really run whatever you want. Just the offensive prowess that Hoopa Unbound has is incredible. And I'm shocked that it went to the third round. And for our fourth pick, I was just looking for bulk at this point. So my plan was I wanted to draft 2 offense and 2 bulk in our first round. So I chose Zapdos. I've never really used the Zapdos before, but I have friends who have used them and they've given me advice about them. Zapdos can be, if you're not prepared, one of the most annoying mons. It can take those physical hits or the special. You can run it however you want, though it's usually run physically defensive. What Zapdos does is just annoy you. You could run Toxic, Roost, Discharge, and whatever else you want. The hacks that this thing can give. Like a U-turn. If you try to switch out on this thing, that's a 30% chance of getting paralyzed. And Discharge also has a 30% chance of paralyzing. So if you manage to U-turn out on a Zapdos, you're lucky if you don't get parried. And it's just bulky, dude. It's bulky. It can eat up physical hits. If you want it special, you can. But it's usually common to run defensive. But who knows how I'm going to run it this season. Okay, so now onto the UU part of the draft. So now we're in the UU tier. And what I wanted was, I wanted to keep up this bulk/offense. So I wanted to get a combo of the two. My first pick in the UU draft, I chose Latios. Latios, I know some people say that Latios is the better since it's more offensive, but I personally love Latios. First off, the shiny is amazing. If you want to see it, then you should go check it out. But Latios is amazing. It's another one of those. It's like a Magearna, but with more offensive prowess. Its special defense isn't as good, but it's nothing to laugh at. Latios can, with Soldew, that thing can dish out the pain. And if you run offensive, it already has that natural bulk. So it can take hits and then dish them out. And Latios is just a solid pick on my part. Well, I don't want to be cocky about that, but it's just a really solid pick. Shocked it went. I got the second pick in the UU round, and I'm really happy I got Latios. Okay, for my second pick in the UU round, a little questionable by me. I could have chose someone else, but I went with Conkeldurr. So, from what I've seen, this isn't really a mon that I thought would be good. It's just that it was good when it went against me. That might not be a really good explanation, but that's just how it was. So when I drafted Conkeldurr, he has some decent bulk, good defense, good health, and solid attack. Really solid attack. So if I wanted, I could run Assault Vest, and then just like the abilities that Conkeldurr gets, like Iron Fist, Guts, and then its other ability, it's just crazy. The punches, Iron Fist, if I wanted Drain Punch, would be doing more than normal, so that means more health. I could run Assault Vest Conkeldurr, and then I could just run the offensive moves that I want. Conkeldurr is just like, it helps me stretch out my availability on my offense. Because it can run Knock Off, it can run Rock Slide, it can run a barrage of moves. And it's just pretty unique in its moveset. Alright, so for our third pick in the UU round, I chose Mamoswine. So, I was kind of on the rocks about who I wanted, but I decided to go with Mamoswine. Mamoswine is a tank. Like, in the literal definition of a tank. It could go through moves and then just fire off a shot that you don't even know if you'll survive. Mamoswine is a beast. Mamoswine, his attack, you could run Choice Guard, Focus Sash, you can run a Z move on it, but Mamoswine is just such a good offensive mon. Well, it has solid bulk too. Mamoswine can run that Ice Shard, the Stab Ice and Ground type moves is just so good. You can run Knock Off, Iron Head, you can try to set up with Rock Polish. It's just such a beast. The priority, you can run rocks, you can run a defensive one, but Mamoswine is just a monster. So for my fourth UU pick, I'm actually really shocked that it went this far. I chose Suicune. Suicune is, again, a tank, but in this time, it's a tank physically and especially defensively. This Suicune is, I know I'm using the word tank a lot, but there's no other way for me to explain it. Suicune is a beast. Suicune can Calm Mind up. You run max defense, you Calm Mind up. There's not a lot your opponent can do about it. You just start scalding everything that doesn't have like Water Absorb or something like that. And then it will do damage. You run Toxic on that, you could just stall mons out at that point. Sub, Toxic, Scald, Calm Mind. It's one of the most basic stats there are out there. It has its counters since it's just a normal water type and it has its weaknesses, but there's not a lot that will break through that. Okay, now onto the third round. So this round, this was the RU pick. And I'm not very sure if I like this pick. I don't know. I haven't used it yet. So I'm a little on the rocks about this one, but for my first round pick for the RU tier, I chose Registeel. I'm not going to use the word tank anymore, but it is bulky. Registeel is bulky. It can run Iron Head, Earthquake, Seismic Toss if you just want to run a fully defensive one. You can run Curse if you want to try and sweep. But Registeel can just dish out. It can run up Rocks, which I desperately needed on this team. And basically just attack. It attacks. It attacks and tries to do as much damage as it can. With that Seismic Toss, it's doing fixed damage. Well, it has a lot of resistances. It's just... It's a flat-out attacker. And while being bulky at the same time. Okay, so for the second RU pick, I chose Mega Banette. So Mega Banette is just one of those mon with insanely high attack, while not having the best of defenses. While not being anything to laugh at, they weren't the best. But the reason I chose Mega Banette is because, first off, before Mega evolves, it gets Frisk. The ability which allows you to see what item your opponent has, which is extremely useful in League format. Sorry about that. And second of all, his ability when he Mega Evolves, Prankster, is so useful. You could run Destiny Bond, Will-O-Wisp, Confuse Ray, just so many things you can do. Taunt, Encore. There's just so much you can do with Prankster on a mon whose defense isn't the best. You Will-O-Wisp, and suddenly the threat is gone to Mega Banette. And then you just run Shadow Claw or any other physical move on Mega Banette, and you can guarantee if it doesn't kill, it'll take a chunk out of any mon. So for my third pick in the RU draft, I chose Cloyster. I wanted a sweeper. Cloyster is a sweeper. Cloyster, if you give it either White Herb or a Focus Sash, it guarantees gets off a Shell Smash and leaves unscathed. It just dishes out damage. You can run Rock Blast, Ice Shard, Icicle Spear, Liquidation. There's just a lot of things that Cloyster can do. The only downside is Cloyster doesn't have the best type, so it's hard to utilize him. Cloyster is a water-ice type with many weaknesses. Electric, grass, fighting, steel, fire, which I'm pretty sure is neutral, but I'll have to check on that. But still, Cloyster, if it outspeeds, it's going to do a lot. Okay, and for my last pick in the RU tier, I was pretty shocked it went this far. I chose Araquanid. Assault Vest Araquanid is nothing to laugh at. If it will take a hit, it will use Lunge, Sticky Webs, which I really wanted. I wanted a mon who gets Sticky Webs, and I'm really happy that I did get one, because that lowering of speed can be so clutch. Well, anyways, Araquanid is just an offensive threat. The fact that its ability Water Bubble doesn't let it get burned and does half on fire types is just insanely good. It's just a good mod to counter any other types of fire types. Okay, now we're on to the NU tier. So I had the fourth pick, and that's not really the best place. But surprisingly, I didn't get sniped on a lot of my mons. So for my first pick in the NU draft, I chose Cuffagrigus. It could take a hit and then just like pain split and just start annoying the mon you're going against. And it's basically it'll give out damage and then just it'll start crippling mons, which is what I wanted in this tier. Okay, so for my second NU pick, I chose Whimsicott. Part of this is biased because I really like Whimsicott. It's a fun mon to use. Second of all, it also has Prankster. Just like Mega Banette, I wanted it to get off those status conditions as fast as it could to start crippling the enemy team. It gets Stun Spore, it gets Leech Seed, it gets Memento, it gets Encore, it gets Taunt. It can do all these things to start crippling lead mons or other type of mons that try to set up. So I wanted Whimsicott to be an annoyer. So basically I just mess around with the team and try to cripple a lot of their offensive mons. And it also gives me a fairy type, which, while it isn't the best, and I know I probably already have a fairy type down back in the draft, I wanted Whimsicott's speedy, so it could just start outspeeding things. And if I run max special attack, max speed, that thing is for surely going to start outspeeding mons and taking them out. Okay, for my third NU pick, I really wanted a mon that had Intimidate. And unfortunately, I got a lot of mons sniped from me. I got Incineroar sniped. I got Scrafty sniped. So I'm not saying this is a choice I regret, but it is one of the last ones that I would have picked. So for my third NU pick, I chose Hitmontop. So while it is another fighting type, the Intimidate drop that it gives you is such an advantage. Because at that point, let's say you bring it in on a Lando, the Lando's gonna start doing nothing. Unless it's running a special Lando, which never is ever run. So it can just cripple mons like that. And then you just hit back with like a Stone Edge or a Close Combat. Or you can get rid of Spikes, Rocks, Leech Seed with Rapid Spin. It's a utility mon, which is what I would like to call it. You're using him as like a tool to help you win. And he's going to be a proud member of the California Charizards. And for my last pick in the NU tier, you know what? I probably missed the mon that I could have used, and I'm kind of regretting it right now. But I will try to grab it in free agency. But for right now, we have Quagsire. Quagsire is looked down upon, but what a lot of people don't know is Quagsire counters so many things. Quagsire, if used correctly, can just shut down a team. The reason for that is because Quagsire gets Oblivious. Or the other, I don't remember what the ability is called, but it's basically the ability which ignores stat changes to the mons that it's going against and stats that it's been on you. So basically, Quagsire shuts down setup mons because now all of a sudden those setup, all those boosts it got from either like Swords Dance or Calm Minds, they don't matter anymore. Quagsire can just start scalding or earthquaking or start toxicking without any risk for damage, and it's just crazy how a mon this low can do so much damage. The last round was for our Z crystals, so we are going to get a chance to trade them in, but for right now I chose the ICMZ. It was kind of spur of the moment, but I chose ICMZ because Mamoswine and ICMZ is an insanely strong combo. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use it, and like I said before, I do want to switch it out, but if I ever do use it, it's